I hope that is sending a message to you. And I hope it's more than just a political message. I talked to a wide variety of community college faculty yesterday by phone, by email. I don't think I've seen a reaction before where people are so stunned. It's anger, and then they keep coming back to, we don't understand this. We've got a situation where the K-12 faculty, the promises have been honored there, and House Republicans led the way in 2005 with a teacher salary increase. We are in full support of that. The regents are happy. Sally Mason says she thinks it's wonderful, who's the Purdue president of the University of Iowa. It's wonderful what the governor's doing for higher education. Dr. Mason, I know, has only been here a short time, but I think she needs to realize that the community college component here has not been dealt with in an equitable manner. Only 30% of the ask of community colleges has been honored here. 30%. And what's probably the biggest poke in the eye, and what has my colleagues in my family, and for full disclosure, I am a community college faculty member, and by the way, I have and will continue to give my salary increase to the MCC Scholarship Fund, and anybody that would like some proof of that, I certainly have the thank yous. So I'm talking to you as a representative of these colleagues. Their appropriation was eliminated yesterday, not reduced. I'm not giving you political speak here. The $2 million, which was supposed to go up to $4 million and then ramp up to $6 million, because we're 32nd in the nation. We are 3rd in the nation in the discrepancy between community college faculty pay and regents professors pay. 3rd in the nation. And that would be, or you could say it the other way around, 47th worse. This appropriation has been eliminated, rolled into a general fund. I don't know that I'm a student of Iowa history and teach history. I don't know that I have ever seen an entity that is being asked to do so much in workforce development, so much in brain drain, have this happen to them, a total elimination. Will it stand? We sure hope not. And House Republicans are here to say that we believe in working on the quality and the teacher salaries across the spectrum. The other thing I would say, I'll turn it over to Linda, is the general fund, or the increase is, it says 5.5 million, but it's actually 3.5 million, folks. That they took the $2 million that was the appropriation for the faculty and rolled it in. So let's just, so we don't get caught up in numbers, and let's just go with the governor's number of 3.2%, which I think is too high. But we'll just go for that. Do you realize that last year the regents lobbyists, okay, the 3 people that lobbied for the regents on the Iowa dime, received over a 5% increase. And we're giving community colleges a 3.2% increase. We are serving, we don't talk, we don't have commissions. In the community college, we serve low and middle income students from the heartland. We are stopping the brain drain. 90% of our students remain in the state. We are an entity where there is upward mobility. And we are giving them 2% less than we're giving regents lobbyists. And my point here isn't to cut the regents lobbyists, although I think 5% is a little much. My point here is, let's practice what we preach. We want to stop the brain drain. Don't have a commission. Deal with this at the community college level. We're upset, and I'll guarantee you my reflection, if you see a little passion in my voice, this is a direct reflection of those students that I see every single day. They are absolutely moving between stunned, anger, and disbelief over this. This is unacceptable.
Well, Representative Kaufmann gave you the passion here this morning. I'm going to give you a few facts. And for disclosure, I am a 13-year past trustee for the community colleges. So I dealt with these kind of budget tragedies during the very lean years that Iowa had. And we had to make hard choices. So I can certainly sympathize with them. I'm also the mother of 5. And those 5 kids pay tuition, and they've gone to community colleges. So I'm concerned about both of those things. And in Iowa, we've talked a lot about tuition and the problems with student debt. I think this will just exacerbate that problem. So I want to give you some numbers. First of all, the tuition costs for students, the national average is $2,182. In Iowa, community college tuition averages $3,032. Now, I didn't do the math, but that looks to me like about a third more. So you can see a state like Iowa that really doesn't make much sense. Additionally, We are 9th nationally, the 9th highest. So while we're trying to increase teacher pay, we're trying to deal with student debt, we're the 9th highest cost. I didn't look up the number for the regions, but I don't believe that's true at the region schools. And these are the schools that are available to anybody in Iowa to further education. And we are asking the community colleges to increase the opportunities for workforce education, to make sure manufacturing has a good supply of trained workers. And I think this makes it even harder for kids to go to school or adults to go back to school. I talked to my community college president this morning, and he said if this stands, he's going to be looking at how to phase out programs. That's significant. And that is a real hardship for especially the rural communities in Iowa, where there are few choices of where they're going to go to school. So I think this whole thing is very disappointing. You know, if you put it in a question of fairness, K-12, 200 million, regions, 60 million, community colleges, 3.5 million. That's what the governor's budget put out yesterday. So, does anybody else have anything to add?
What community college, real quick, I'm sorry, what's that?
North Iowa Area Community College. Mike Morrison's the president. If you want to talk to him, Janine.
Thank you.
There's one quick number that I think is important. There's a quick number that Representative Upmeyer left out that I think is rather key. I come from Southwest Iowa, Council Bluffs. Iowa Western Community College is in my district and handles some of the most rural parts of Iowa, going across the 13 counties in Southwest Iowa. Last year, we were the only community college in the state that was able to have zero growth on our tuition. Our tuition right now is $100 a credit hour. If what the governor did yesterday stands, we're looking at, from what we're hearing from our community colleges, double-digit tuition increases. It doesn't take a math whiz to figure out double-digit tuition increases are 10% or higher if you're doing $100 a credit hour. Well, the governor touted in his speech yesterday, what was it, 3.2% or cost of living increase for our Regents institutions, and what we were able to do for tuition last year with the appropriations that we took to them last year. What we're doing this year is saying to our community colleges, well, apparently cost of living is not what you get. You're going to get a 10% increase. My students have sent me hundreds of letters over the 5 years I've been serving in the legislature. They weren't concerned about their faculty salaries. They were concerned about tuition. That's where the rubber hits the road, and boom, we're going to hit them with 10%. 10% if this continues to go on. And I think I'll also underline exactly what Representative Kaufmann said. We had $2 million that went to faculty last year. Our faculty were behind in what they were being paid. We put $2 million towards them. Now the students and the general fund at our community colleges are being asked to pick up what the legislature gave them last year and what the governor has retracted from them this year. That is huge. That's giving and taking back and asking our students to pay the difference. We can't let this stand, and House leadership won't.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't touch on that. And I heard the same thing about the double-digit tuition increase or cut programs. I mean, you've got the choice. One thing I want to call your attention to, you've all got this sheet that talks about how much the state of Iowa spends per pupil. And I know you've seen it before, but this is something that as a trustee, I mean, this really brought clarity to what the state invests in students and in education. And so I'm not going to bore you with reading the whole thing, but please look at this piece. It's very telling. Please look at the fact that community colleges get just over $2,399 in 08, and that's gone up and down actually for the most part over the years, while the state universities have increased steadily, the K-12 has. So, I mean, I could tell you that my president told me this morning, once again, we're feeling like sort of the poor stepchild of the entire education system. And I think that's very unfortunate. If that's the people we're going to look to do our workforce training and keep us moving in the state, that's not the way you treat the people that you expect the most of, I don't think.
It seems like I covered some of those workforce, the interim committee on workforce shortage. And it seems like when I listened to some of the members of the business community that spoke, that one of the things, I mean, they said both, they didn't say just community colleges, but they did say increase funding for community colleges and the regions, because that's where we need our workforce, and there is going to be retraining issues. I mean, do you think this flies in the face of that